Would you like to spend time with others learning tips and tricks, along with On the Road to Healthy Living Mobile Cooking School is for you. Call Amy Ressler at Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service at 936-539-7825 to find a class near you or volunteer to host a class.
You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZW LP Conroe and 106.1 KZCC LP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
We are the three amigos. We are the three amigos, and amigos forever will be.
All right. There you go. Mornings with Lone Star, irlonestar.com. Welcome to today's show with Skippy, special guest and co-host Chris Appel of the Ticket Stub podcast.
I love this music. This is great.
Yeah, this is I'm trying to
start the morning off.
I'm trying to get in the mood. It's 9:06. We're broadcasting live on Lone Star Community Radio and of course worldwide at irlonestar.com and Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1. We are on YouTube live. Check us out on our YouTube page at Mornings Lone Star, and then Facebook Live on our Facebook page, Mornings of Lone Star. It's all the same here, folks. Having a good time. We're going to be here till 11 o'clock. Great show in store because we've been gone for like 4 days or something like that. 4 show days.
I've missed you.
I think. I'm not really sure.
There were tears.
But I know you guys have missed Conroe traffic and weather. Let's get that done. Do you got the weather report?
I got the weather. It's already 84, but it's only going to get up to 96 today. So the days of breaking 100 seem to be behind us for right now. Only a 1% chance of rain, but cloudy all day. Partly cloudy all through next week. Maybe Monday and Tuesday, going to have some thunderstorms. But hey, that'll bring down the temperature. Winds coming out of the east, according to the official Lone Star weather tree outside my window.
There you go. And traffic report in the Montgomery County area. I know Sean was part of an accident. I'm not really
just a witness. I was just not. It was a fender benders from behind. When some guy like merges into another lane and there's somebody already there. What's that? Is that a door ding?
Fender bender?
Well, fender bender, fenders are the front and back. So you think someone,
Side swipe.
There you go. A side swipe. So a minor side, just long enough to put me about 10, 15 minutes behind as they complained at each other. It's funny when the person
you stayed?
Yeah, I was literally right behind it. So
you couldn't move?
Have you been on Woodlands Parkway in the 8 o'clock hour? There's no moving around it. Plus, they needed me.
They literally did it on top of the bridge?
No, near Six Pines.
Okay. So how could you not get around? It's like a 3-lane deal.
Well, because also I witnessed an accident. So as a law-abiding citizen. Yeah, because they're like, oh, hold on. Did you see what happened? And I said, yes. And so it was funny because the person who actually did the moving was yelling so loud at the other person for being there. You were in my blind spot. Not my problem, but
you should have done it says whoever opens their checkbook will be.
I can't remember too much, but the color green tends to open up the old brain cells.
You're a better man than me because I would have just been like, I didn't see nothing. See ya.
No, that's when I caused the accident. That's when I take off and burn rubber. If I'm a witness, I make up for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's nice that you stayed, I guess, for that one character. That's why everyone needs dashboard cams, so they can't depend on Sean Thompson. I remember I was working, I was doing yard work for a shopping center, and it's one of the shopping centers that, they have those drainage things before you go into the shopping centers, like little bridges sometimes. Mm-hmm. Well, I was sitting there, like, probably 2 feet into the trench, and all of a sudden, I hear a loud boom, and I'm with the mower kind of at an angle, and all of a sudden I look up, and there's a car that comes in like a breached whale, like or whatever, coming from the water. Like, wow.
Oh, wow.
Like right next to me, probably like 4 feet. And I was just like, oh man, that's pretty crazy. And the guy gets out. He's totally fine. And then he's like, "Did you see that?" And I'm like, "Well, I saw a car almost hit me, if that's what you're asking." And he was trying to get me to be a witness. And he was like, "You need to tell like that guy who did all this stuff." And I was like, "Sir, I was in a trench. I was like, I couldn't even see the road like well enough to know what exactly happened." And he really wanted me to stay. And I was just like, I gotta finish this. I gotta finish this stuff. I'm not gonna stick around. And well, anyway, the worst thing is I had to stick around because I had to finish my job. And so a cop comes over, like he goes, "There he is. There's that kid." I was like 14 at the time, 15. He's like, "There's that kid." And then the cop comes up to me and starts asking me all these questions. And I was like, I don't know how many times I could say I didn't see anything. Like, I don't know who you. I guess that's the unfortunate thing about being a person who is in an age group or a group of people that you don't normally believe. You tend to believe another person because the cop totally believed the other guy saw it. And he's like, "No, young man, like you can tell me, you can tell me, don't feel intimidated by this guy." And I'm like, I didn't say anything. Like, what do you want me to say? And he's like, "Excuse me?" I was like, "You can tell me whatever you want me to say. I'll say it." And he's like, "Thank you."
Well, do you think that dashboard cams will be the next extra offered as a like factory installation on cars?
I hope not. I don't want people to see what I do on the road. If anything,
But they do anyways. That you can just throw your phone up there,
yeah,
and record it. Because I'm sure you've seen those memes. Usually they happen in other countries like Sweden or England or Hong Kong, where someone just sitting at a red light and the person gets in front of them and runs backwards into.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah, and these are the ones that they catch with the dashboard cam, going, "You just screwed up." You because they'll throw themselves on the car. Or someone there's one where someone just takes their motorcycle and starts backpedaling like Fred Flintstone, hits the car, flips onto the hood, and the woman you see her just get out of the car smiling and pointing to the guys. "See, you guys see the camera in my car?" And they go like running off.
I do watch those dash cam videos from overseas. It's like in Russia and just like car wrecks and people doing stuff. I do watch those quite a bit, actually. They're pretty entertaining.
So I think, yeah, it could be one of those things because, I get 10% off my insurance just for having a car alarm. So, add another 10% off for having a dashboard cam.
You know what I hate? I hate those things that some insurance companies have where you plug it in to the car and it tells you if you're speeding. And if you just keep it under like a certain amount, you get a discount. I'm like, no way. Because, yeah, they would catch me doing too much stuff, I think.
I absolutely agree with you.
Well, I actually am kind of interested to see if there's a listener out there who has a dash cam, like which one to get and how effective is it? Because I imagine it's one of those things that you never think about until you have it, and you're like, "Oh, thank you, because I got in a wreck because of this." But one thing that I laugh is I think you can get a full 360 of your car, because I know people can put it on the front, but then I know people can put them on their back. And then you can put them on.
Well, great. Then you can get a 360 view of not only the traffic I'm fighting, but also me belting out Broadway tunes as I'm driving along.
Well, that's all. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things that you got to have it if you want to protect yourself. Because how many accidents have y'all gotten in, and y'all had the guy, like you said, respond, the lady or whoever, just like it's your fault immediately?
Oh, it happens like every time.
Every time.
Every time. It's just human nature.
It usually is my fault, so I'm just like, okay, yeah, I did it.
The only accident I ever gotten in, it was my fault. But then I asked the guy, because it was one of those things where I was in a shopping center and I was turning left out. Well, I went left, right, left. And when I did it, he hit the bed of my truck. And I was like, I just don't remember seeing a person. And then when the cop came, he was trying to talk. And the man who hit me didn't speak English. And so I go and I asked the cop, I was like, "Do you know any Spanish?" And he's like, "Yeah, I do." Like, "Can you just ask the guy how fast he was going?" Because like I was like, I didn't see anybody, and there's a turn right there. So like, I think he might have been like really speeding, because the only way he can cover, like the 20 yards is if he was going like 50. And my car was, it got the truck bed almost came off. And luckily it was a big truck, so I didn't really feel it. Mm-hmm. And so he turns to the guy and asks how fast he was going. And you can just see on the guy's face, like, and he said something in Spanish, so I didn't get in trouble.
Well, good on you.
And it was really weird. I was like, and the cop was like, "Yeah, you're good to go." Like, he didn't want to do insurance. You don't want to do that stuff. And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Last year, I got rear-ended on 105 at a light. I was stopped at a light. Somebody hit me, and the guy took off. Well, he came up to the car, and he said, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And I said, "Okay, well, let's just pull over here and exchange insurance." He's like, "Okay." So I pull over, and he just takes off. And I wasn't even paying attention because I thought he would pull over to get everything. So, I had to eat that one.
There have been, I have to admit, there's been one or two where I've dinged someone in the back, where, there's no damage.
Mhm.
And my brain's like, alternate reality Sean could just take off with burning rubber right now. They won't catch me. But I stopped each time. But last time, someone dinged me. We were on sawdust and I pulled over in the parking lot. And he starts to do the turnaround. So I'm making sure he can't get past me. He finally gives me some insurance information. File the claim. They call me. This insurance does not exist.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he had a fake policy thing.
Well, that's one thing I can't imagine being the insurance person who works those claims, because I wonder how often it happens like that, where someone's like you hit or they hit you, it's their fault, and they go, "It's my fault, sorry." But then 2 days later, they claim it on you. Because I think my brother, who's notorious in our family for being in several accidents, like to the point where he almost lost his insurance several times because of how many, and he, like, I would say he's 50-50, like 50 his fault, 50 not his fault. And then pretty much every single time something's happened to him, they try to claim his insurance after the fact.
Oh, wow.
And has that never happened to y'all?
No.
Oh, yeah, they will. There have been several accidents that I've been involved with that each time the other person tries to say, it was me, and that's why I take pictures everywhere. This one guy, 99 times out of 100, I will have not let anyone leave till the cops show up for the police report. This time I was in a hurry. The other person seemed to be in a hurry. So I was like, okay, just give me the information. We'll be fine. And that's what bit me. Because as soon as the cops show up, they can run it. And there you go.
Mm-hmm.
So what would your advice be? Always call the cops, even in a fender bender?
Unfortunately, yeah.
I would say yes as well.
Well, like in this scenario, these dudes hit each other. Would you not pull over?
Just say that again now?
Sounds like they just stayed there in the middle of the lane.
Yeah. Well,
would you not try to get out of the way?
I think that's what the police have instructed people to do, is just get out of the lane of traffic, and then they'll kind of figure out the deal.
Exactly. And that's what you can do. Run out with your phone camera, just take a picture of it right there. Whose tires are over the line at that moment. Because it was obvious that the person who was trying to turn left thought he was clear, just jerked the wheel over, got the guy on the door.
Because traffic's bad enough. So if you have a wreck, get out of the way, because I got places to go.
I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
We need a cop, like the standard cop comes in. If you're an officer and you want to be on the radio, let us know, because I got some questions for you. Like, do we need to get out of the way or not? What's the best case scenario? I imagine like safety first, right?
Safety first.
Yeah. Because
make sure you don't go more than like 50 yards, because then you're leaving the scene of the accident.
Okay. Because I feel like if you did get in an accident and your arm's broken, you shouldn't worry about moving the car.
Well, in that case, yeah. But a fender bender or a door ding.
But if you can, like I said, I got places to go. You should go ahead and try to use one arm to drive the car over.
Your advice. Your advice is just to leave. You're the witness. You're like, nope, don't got time for this. Well, we know where you lie on your loyalty.
I'm trying to build up some good hooju. Get some good karma going.
All right. We'll be right back. You're listening to Mornings Lone Star, brought to you by Conroe Coffee and Clean Sweep Office Cleaning.
We are the Freedom.
Conroe Coffee is a local coffee shop located in the heart of downtown Conroe at 206 North Main Street, Conroe, Texas. Conroe Coffee serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner, along with other treats and coffee. For more information regarding store hours and delivery in downtown Conroe, Conroe Coffee is on Facebook or by telephone at 936-266-7632.
We would like to thank Conroe Coffee for being a supporter of Lone Star Community Radio and our morning sponsor with Mornings with Lone Star.
Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show, with monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast. Create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776.
Business office cleaning is available in the Montgomery County area from Clean Sweep Office Cleaning, with scheduled cleaning services such as floor care, window care, trash collection, restroom disinfection, and stair and elevator cleaning. Clean Sweep can service a business one time or on a regular schedule with daily, weekly, and monthly options. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning can be found online at cleansweepofficecleaning.com or by calling 832-689-7996. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning. Take back your time and let us make your office shine. Mornings with Lone Star is sponsored by Clean Sweep Office Cleaning.
The Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service has been dedicated to educating Texans for over a century. In 1915, the Extension Program was established under the federal Smith-Lever Act to deliver university knowledge and agricultural research findings directly to the people. Ever since, AgriLife Extension programs have addressed the emerging issues of the day, serving diverse populations across the state. Texans turn to Extension for solutions in horticulture, agriculture, 4-H and youth, and family and consumer sciences. Extension agents respond not only with answers, but also with resources and services that result in significant returns on investment to boost the economy. Join us Fridays at 1 o'clock for the AgriLife Extension Hour.
Hello, welcome back to Mornings with Lone Star with Dick, Skippy, and Chris Appel. And if his name was Jem,
the Ticket Stub podcast.
I think his name should be Jem, because that way when he goes to France, they'd ask him his name, he'd say Jem Appel, Jem Appel.
You need water
I used to make that joke, actually.
You get the nervous radio throat?
If I got to go on, what is that? Me. No, I'm okay.
I'm a little worried about it.
Am I forcing it?
I don't know. When you start going...
There we go.
Welcome back, Mornings with Lone Star.
There we are.
Been there.
9:22 on the
Let's
dot.
do a proper introduction. Chris Appel is a co-host of the Ticket Stub podcast, which is live every noon o'clock on Thursdays here on Lone Star Community Radio. You're also the GM. Is that the right term?
Yes.
GM of the Grand Theater over there in North Conroe on League Line Road. And that's on the west side of League Line Road. And it's a great theater. I go there. That's the theater I go to. And yeah, that's about it. Like that's where he comes from. So if we're talking movies, he knows a little bit about it. And he knows how movies are played, how it's operated, and all that kind of stuff, which is really cool. So if you have questions for Chris while we're on the show, we're on Facebook Live and YouTube Live, so feel free to just randomly chat that in. And if they're appropriate, we'll
please be nice about it.
He's on Twitter. You're on Twitter at Chris Appel, right?
It's at TheClappel at the
You're
Clappel,
very
I guess,
involved with Twitter, so you love to have fans.
I'm on Twitter a lot, actually.
So that's good. And you also, would you say you're a movie collector? And this is personally what I know. You collect things from movies. You do like doing that.
Yes, I have a lot of movie memorabilia.
Memorabilia, that's the right word?
It is.
Okay, do you have memorabilia?
I have some. I lost some over the years.
What's the
divorces and floods?
All right. So what's the difference from like me going to Sharper Image and buying the Predator statue? And then, because like Chris doesn't do that. Chris, you actually do auctions. Like you get the clothes.
The stuff
from memorabilia is actually part of the movie. So Sharper Image getting the Stormtrooper costume.
What does that count? What is that? What is that? Just fanboy
merchandise?
Yeah, it's merchandising. That this was. I remember. I think it was at Disney World at the Orlando, and looked in this memorabilia shop, and they would have crudely done wooden phasers for Star Trek movies that were going for $3,000 because, George Takei held this one in his hand in Star Trek 4 kind of thing.
Like I remember they were doing, it was the Batman Begins trilogy, and they were having an auction for pretty much every little thing they made in that movie.
Oh, every Batarang?
Like, the Batarang, they were selling them for like $100 a piece. And they're like the metal ones.
That's a pretty good deal.
So
if it's from the movie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they had a whole collect, because they made probably 100 of them. And it was kind of one of those funny things that you wouldn't think of, oh, why would I want to buy that? But then again, I mean, if you're into that kind of stuff.
Some people are. I'm into getting autographs, like book from authors myself. That's my gig more than movie memorabilia.
To the point where like you have a bookshelf that's literally all signed authors, or do you just kind of put them together?
Yeah, part of my
say you died, and I'm like taking all your stuff.
Well, you'd have to fight my son for it.
Well, I'm not talking like what's in the will. I meant like, do you have a special section that's all signed books?
I actually have a selection. There's a publisher called Franklin Mint.
Okay.
And they have some really high-end leather-bound books. And I have my folks got it for me as a kid. So I have them. In fact, I'm going up to Dallas this weekend to get them because my sister was holding them. And my son will get them. They are autographed books from Kurt Vonnegut, Gore Vidal. And these are...
Yeah, that guy's so old, though. Like, who cares about him?
Because the second they die...
It takes like 2 generations.
John Updike. We're talking... This was a series that came out in the 70s. So a lot of those authors who are now dead, I have their autographs in these books.
What? I was thinking about this the other day, and like, kind of a worldview is I feel like the younger generations, and I guess as you get older, they say this about every generation, but I don't see them caring about that kind of stuff. And I don't know if it's the way our society is like we have access to the internet and like just our
it's less autograph, more selfie.
Yeah, but like what do you see being valued in the like say 2 generations from now? Because like Kurt Vonnegut, of course, he basically inspired a generation. He was one of those people that inspired a generation. But 6 generations from now, I just don't know.
Would you not want an autograph of Mozart?
I mean, I don't know if people would care about that in 6 generations.
I hope it's movie costumes because that's what I'm banking on.
Well, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is like today's art, for example, like the Picassos, I feel like that's so disconnected from the normal viewpoint of art that only people who care about that are rich people. Only like it. And there might be a few art students out there. I feel like that might be like, oh, the beauty of Picasso, but because I was taught it. But I just don't see it being the normal thing now. To really, can anyone name a Picasso painting besides you, Sean?
Probably not. Oh well, Brett probably could. Let's
but that's what I'm saying. Like I think as generations go,
but it's not the name; it's the look of it. It's
like I couldn't tell you what a Picasso painting looks like if I saw like 3 similar artists. I could be like, oh, that's Picasso.
Well, that's not your bag.
Yeah, but
baby.
Don't you think that takes away from the overall value of it, though? As like say each generation forgets like 10% of it. And then
it could be a generational thing, but an art lover is an art lover, and art is one of the few things that actually appreciates over time.
Yeah.
And same thing like with the autographs. The second someone dies, my pride and joy is when I lived in England, I got a first edition copy of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the original when it first came out. When he came out, Adams came out with the second book. He came to my local bookstore. I stood in line. I got his autograph. So I have a first printing.
You should have told people that.
Well, no, it's under lock and key, and my son, he calls me every now and then to make sure it survives the floods and stuff because he knows he gets that. I'm like, damn, son, put down the pillow. I'm not dead yet.
What do you see those values that are like your generation, my generation? Like I'm thinking about my generation. What do you think? There's like we don't have a Kurt Vonnegut per se.
Like, yeah, you've got Twilight.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like.
Do
I really want to think of Harry Potter first generation being as valuable as a Kurt Vonnegut or the Hitchhiker's Guide first edition? Like,
well, every
really
generation
know,
has its lions
because everything's becoming digital, so it's kind of hard to have a tangible thing that I'm going to put in a briefcase, like in a briefcase, or someone hide it, and I'm going to save it. But I'm trying to think like, I have the original iPhone.
Go to your Space Cadet Collectibles, which is in the Woodlands, and they have, or Fat Ogre, and they have.
Well, they have movie stuff.
They have movie stuff. They have comic stuff, and they have figurines, and that's where I think the money's being spent now. Where it's memorabilia, but not directly from the movie. This is one of the dreadlocks.
One thing I always thought was really cool was people would buy a frame from a movie.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really cool. I was like, I would really like that. That'd be something I would be into. But then no one films on film, really. I mean, I think there's probably a low statistic about saying every movie produced in 2018 is made on film.
Well, you could also get from Disney
the
back
hard
in
drive.
the day.
Can I get the hard drive?
Yeah, right. You can get from Disney back in the day a handwritten cell.
Yep.
Like a sketch from one of the.
Yeah. I just don't know. I'm trying to figure out in my mind, besides sports, that will have that collector's attitude. unless the Beanie Babies come back or something. Like I don't really know.
Classic cars are always good.
Yeah. Well, I think that's going to be forever, just
Yeah.
because people like that kind of
Until they outlaw the internal combustion engine.
Yeah. Well, no, then it become really popular.
You're right.
So I'm trying to think about it, because today what people value the younger age is technology. But the technology always is changing, so it's hard to put like nostalgic value to it, because no one wants to use an old iPhone.
Well, you just use the magic word, nostalgia. We're generations, me in particular, you two, sort of, kind of nostalgia. We want to hold on to some past stuff. This signature, this photograph.
Well,
the current young generation is instant gratification
Yeah.
and attention deficit disorder. Oh, I love this. Oh, until this one comes along.
Like, for example, I grew up on video games, and now that's something like they have stores, like brick and mortar stores where you can buy old video games.
Mhm.
But me being a technology person, I was like, I don't even need to buy those. I can just download them.
But every
and
20,
play.
30 years, it comes back. People are buying the old consoles. The old Segas are coming back. Vinyl's coming back. Every 20, 30 years, it does circle around. What was old is now hip again. I remember when they said LPs are gone, of vinyl records. They're gone. They're never coming back. Everything's cassette, then everything's CD, and everything's downloaded. It's all dead technology. I'm having a problem. I lost my VHS player in the flood because unfortunately it was on the floor. I'm wanting to replace it. I'm going to spend a couple $100 just for what 5 years ago would have been a $6 VHS player.
Oh, wow.
Because they're making a comeback. The kids are getting their parents. What's in the attic? Blow off the dust of this Terminator.
I was listening
Star
to
Wars First Edition.
Have you ever heard of a stand-up comedian called Doug Stanhope?
I've heard the name, but I don't
He's
know.
He's a very niche, and he was talking about he's been releasing his specials on VHS limited order. And I was like, wait a second, what? And then he's like, yeah, he was talking to some guy, and it's the exact same reaction I had. And he's like, yeah, we just do 30-minute special on VHS. You put it on eBay. He puts everything on eBay. But I mean, I get that it's nostalgic, but it's more of like, what's going to have the impact of that? And I'm very interested to see if, like, say when I was born till today or the next generation, like, what are they going to value? Because there's a lot of things that happened in the 80s and the 70s and 60s that kind of revolutionized everything. Like the way we eat, the way we move, and the way we talk to people. But what's the next one? I know no one can really project it, but I just don't see.
I think right now we're in the throes of just tunnel vision. Everyone's got blinders on. Everyone's faces, noses in their phones. It's what they get today. A kid today could get a picture of Vonnegut and will delete it to make room for the next selfie.
Well, because
there's just no sense of value on that. But I think that pendulum will come back around.
You're a big sci-fi fan, and I know a lot of like futuristic sci-fi shows or books or anything. They always have an element of, oh, you're the guy who wrote the new Bible, basically. Sometimes like that's kind of part of the story. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always thinking to myself, in the future, no one's going to read anything, right? Like that's going to be such a limited amount of population who's going to sit down and read something.
No, you'll always have it.
You'll have it.
I've lived through
You'll have it. I'm talking about the general population.
Well,
I think every year we lose a little bit of that every year.
Nobody has time. There's no time. We're losing time. You got to be on the go 24/7 now, and available with your phone 24/7. And there's
because if I'm releasing a book today, I'm hoping I have a good audio version.
Yeah,
like I imagine that's in the conversation of the publishing table. It's like, who's going to be doing the voices of my audio book?
Yeah, with my novel, my publisher and I, it was just when ebooks were first starting to come out, and she was like, "Should we do an ebook version?" We talked about it. I was like, let's wait. We never did. And it's like, we missed out on that.
Yeah.
Because it was just beginning. Now it's the norm, or an audio.
I would just love to see the stats on that, if it's changed at all.
It is, because Chris is right. People are more and more on the go. There are those who still read telegrams or watch something on VHS.
You can still do that?
Not nearly as you can.
I didn't know you could still do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that.
It's still a thing. I'd send a telegram just once a year just to keep it going.
I got to look up how you even do that.
Go to Western Union.
Oh, okay.
I just want to see the stat. I like to see the numbers on like how many people are really buying books today than they were.
The hard copies.
Yeah.
Much less than before because there was no alternative.
Yeah. But then I think you think it's fair to combine everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I always felt it was odd that someone said, "Oh, I read that book," but then you learn, "Oh no, they listened to it." And I was just kind of like, I don't know, man. I feel like the
3
discipline.
years ago,
I feel like the discipline of reading is a little bit more than the discipline of listening. I don't.
I've actually changed my mind on that. 3 years ago, I would have had such contempt on all things.
Well, it's not necessarily contempt.
No,
I'm coming from like,
it was
not
contempt.
the same.
It's not, but I'll take it. It's almost like we were talking about the Nielsen ratings just the other day.
Yeah,
where they were all based on who watched it right then and there, and then shows were getting canceled that like we know people are watching. Everyone's talking about, it, and they realized TiVo. VHS, what was it called? Time shifting. That's what, when we record something on our VHS, when you could set your VHS to record, or then there was TiVo, and then before DVR, and they realized they'd have to add in after the fact viewership.
Yeah.
That is just a straightforward box on, a Nielsen box on somebody's top of somebody's TV was no longer an accurate reflection by itself, because no one watches stuff. Even if I'm watching a show live, I'll be DVRing it. And then 10 minutes into the show, that's when I'll start watching. That way I can start skipping the commercials. And by the end of the show, I'm pretty much caught up.
But do you think, say audiobooks become more popular, do you think that will influence writers in the way they write?
Ooh, not good writers.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because I imagine there's certain books out there, older books, that won't sound very pleasing.
Well, yeah. Well, think about it. Try doing an audio book version, not a dramatization
of the encyclopedia
of anything Shakespeare.
That'd be great.
See, I'm gonna write. I'm in the process of working out writing one, and I really want to talk it like into a tape recorder.
That's what
or something.
I'm wondering if that's going to influence.
So, and that would definitely be different than typing it out.
But so today, and I'm going to ask the audience this too: if you, because someone says I read that book, but then they really mean they listened to it, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I think it's dishonest. Because
if they say, and I'm using the misnomer on purpose, but I read it on audiobook, I'll give it to them, because at least there's some kind of effort being made. They're stuck in traffic. But if they say, it's like the kid doing the book report based on the Cliff Notes.
Why can't they say they listened on audio?
That's what I said. As long as they indicate that there was an audio format involved. Otherwise, they are the kid that turns to the book report based on the Cliff Notes. Did you read the book? Yeah, I read the book and the Cliff Notes.
But yeah, what I always love is someone, like, in college, like, oh, did you read this in 8th grade? I was like, yeah, I read it, but I don't remember one thing from it. I guess it just books don't really stick with me.
Well, it's like when I read Catcher in the Rye again as an adult, I forgot how bad it sucked when I read it the first time. I'm just not a fan of the book. But
you're listening to Mornings Lone Star 937. We got to take a break. We're hanging out with Chris Appel, GM of the not Movie Tavern. Almost did. The sister theater, the Grand Theater over there in Conroe. If you got movie questions or anything like that, like, does Chris clean the toilets? He does. He was doing something when I walked in.
I have on occasion.
Am I the only member of this group? Am I the only member of this group who hasn't professionally cleaned toilets? Well, no, I was in military days.
But you were in the theater, right? You do the theater.
True.
Theater bathroom.
Yeah, that's true.
There you go.
That's true.
All right.
Everybody's got to do that.
We'll be right back.
And amigos forever.
Business office cleaning is available in the Montgomery County area from Clean Sweep Office Cleaning, with scheduled cleaning services such as floor care, window care, trash collection, restroom disinfection, and stair and elevator cleaning. Clean Sweep can service a business one time or on a regular schedule, with daily, weekly, and monthly options. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning can be found online at cleansweepofficecleaning.com or by calling 832-689-7996. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning. Take back your time and let us make your office shine. Mornings with Lone Star is sponsored by Clean Sweep Office Cleaning.
Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show, with monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776.
Conroe Coffee is a local coffee shop located in the heart of downtown Conroe at 206 North Main Street, Conroe, Texas. Conroe Coffee serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner, along with other treats and coffee. For more information regarding store hours and delivery in downtown Conroe, Conroe Coffee is on Facebook or by telephone at 936-266-7632.
We would like to thank Conroe Coffee for being a supporter of Lone Star Community Radio and our morning sponsor with Mornings with Lone Star.
Is there someone you know who is hooked on vintage aircraft? Follow the Commemorative Air Force and its fleet of World War II planes, including the mighty B-17 Flying Fortress Texas Raiders, which is based in Conroe, Texas. Texas Raiders tours locally and all around the United States, offering the public a chance to put their hands on aviation history. What could be a more perfect gift than a flight on a historic B-17? Taking to the sky on the iconic bomber is an experience that will never be forgotten. For the touring schedule, reservations, or more information, go to b17texasraiders.org or call 855-FLY-A-B-17.
Hey guys, this is Connor.
This is Dick.
This is Chris.
And we're with the Ticket Stub podcast every Thursday live at noon on 104.5 and 106.1 FM in the Conroe area. Also, anytime at irlonestar.com. You go to irlonestar.com/TTS. You can find all of our social media.
And don't forget, we give away 2 tickets to the Grand Theater on every show.
If you like movies and you like complaining or celebrating anything that has to do with the silver screen, check out the Ticket Stub podcast and join us every Thursday at noon o'clock on Lone Star Community Radio.
Wherever we go, if we play amigos, then we'll be amigos forever. We are the three amigos.
Welcome back. Morning's Lone Star. We were with the Three Amigos. That's right. Chris Appel with the Ticket Stub podcast is our special co-host today. If you have a movie question, visit us on Facebook Live because we're broadcasting live and on YouTube. And, of course, Skippy's with us. Dennis has a question. Do theaters have to pay per showing of a movie, or is it one price and the show it as often as possible? I guess when you're buying it from the film distributors.
There's a film rental cost, and it's a one-time fee.
Okay.
I believe it's a one-time fee, and then we show it as much as we want.
What happens if, and this, I'm just curious, like, I know you can rent space on certain theaters. I don't know about the Grand.
Yeah, you can.
But can I rent it and play a movie?
You can play one that's not currently playing in theaters.
So I could just do the Three Amigos.
You could, but I don't think you could sell tickets to it.
Okay.
If it was just like you and your friends or something, you could do that. But if
a private party,
are you gonna
you could
put together a private viewing party, the Three Amigos for us?
No, I was just curious how that works.
Well, now you're teasing me.
Well, if I was gonna rent a theater, you think I'd watch the Three Amigos
on the big screen? You betcha.
No way.
No
way.
That'd be a good deal,
right?
We'd watch something more entertaining, like Under Siege.
Under Siege 2 the next day.
Yeah,
a Steven Seagal marathon.
Speed 2.
So, but no, I was always wondering that. So how that would work.
That is interesting because in theaters, when you get a put on a production, you are charged. You have to provide the play publisher the number of seats in your theater, the number of tickets you anticipate selling, at what price, how many showings, and that'll determine what your royalties are on that.
Well, especially with music, I know a lot of local venues have trouble with those royalty people because if you play any music like through a radio, like I think they can get on you if you play a thing through your phone, like you're on your phone, so you're cleaning the bar or something, and they come in by chance and you're playing that music. Oh, it's a performance. You can't be doing that in here. Like I think it's that strict.
Oh, wow.
So I was interested to see how that works. Because y'all rent? Can I rent something? Can I do like anything I want? Like I'm talking like
pretty much. I mean, we've had people rent an auditorium, play Xbox on the big screen.
That doesn't seem very efficient.
No, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, but how would you like?
In my youth, I would invite a lot of friends and put on Caligula, see what happens.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Right. Yeah, see that we don't want that though.
We'd bring the tarps.
Yeah.
That's gross. Well, you said anything, so you just opened the doors. But no, that's a good question. Thanks, Dennis, for asking that. Because I know that's actually, I read that's the problem with small theaters where they have 1 or 2 screens. And that's the issue they're having with Disney and the fear of Disney purchasing Fox. So they're going to continue their If you didn't know this, Sean, they have a rule. Certain movies they produce have a rule where they're required the theater to show the movie a maximum or minimum amount of times. And smaller theaters are having trouble with that because they can't have variety. That basically, if Star Wars comes out and they have one theater, then they have to show Star Wars for 5 weeks or something like that. Which, I mean, I don't know if that really hurts their business or not, but they don't want that.
Well, with IMAX and big screen formats, Disney will lock them into pretty much the duration of having the film in IMAX.
Yeah, but again, like I see what other movies are coming out that's competing that you really want to show. Like to me,
well, I think the smaller houses,
the smaller houses I get.
Because they'll be able to concentrate on the independents or the small studios, the non, it's like, okay, you guys go stand in line at the 17 screen Cinemark over there. We're going to be showing Memento.
Yeah.
Or a Christopher Nolan retrospective. And I think that's what will keep them alive and flourishing.
Well, like today, you're doing Princess Mononoke at 7 p.m. tonight.
Yeah, I forgot what day it was. That sounds right. Yeah, I'm not sure what day.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to go tomorrow.
Yeah, but we've got
it's the subtitle version tonight, and I'm like, Holly's like, I don't do subtitles.
Tomorrow
is.
Is she gonna listen to it in the original Japanese?
That's what they're playing tonight. And then tomorrow is the dub version.
Tomorrow at 2 and 7, we have the 1989 Batman.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What?
We played it Sunday too. I stepped in there for the opening credits,
That's
opening
cool.
theme music and stuff. It's just so awesome.
I remember watching that for the night it came out.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, because one thing that I really thought was funny about the movie business in the surrounding area, because luckily I grew up near Houston or in Houston, where you could pretty much see any mainstream movie or I would say second tier like independent film. But it was always funny, and like when you're in for example, I was in Abilene for school, they would have like select movies at the theaters. I always wonder who influenced. Oh, let's put Napoleon Dynamite in here, but it won't be at one theater for one weekend. And I'm like, man, like who decides that? Because I don't know.
Probably the bean counters. They'll look at the demographics saying, okay, this neighborhood is most likely to watch Napoleon Dynamite. But we can only rely on maybe 2 days
make that
of
decision?
word of mouth.
No.
So the corporate makes that decision, like you're going to be doing these films this week or this.
Yeah, I mean, we know demographics just by previous grosses of films. Like we at the Grand, we have a large senior crowd, so anything to do with that
raunchy stuff like Caligula.
That would kill. Yeah. No, so those don't necessarily do good, and R-rated movies really don't do that well for us. But family stuff and movies that have older stars, like a Diane Keaton movie or something along those lines, do really, really well.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Like the last one, what was it? The Book Club. That killed for us. So
wow.
Yeah.
It makes sense, but I wouldn't have thought of it.
Mm-hmm.
What didn't kill? Could you tell us right now? Like how did that Skyscraper movie do in your opinion at the theater?
It did pretty good for us.
Yeah.
Is it movies like that you get your first weekend before like the bad reviews start coming in or people start talking about it?
Did anyone really expect the Skyscraper to be a great movie?
No, but I think everybody expected it to do more than it did. I mean, The Rock has been such a bankable star over the past few years, and it seems like maybe he just had some overexposure, maybe, and that's why this one didn't do. He's just done
like 3 in a row, hasn't he?
That's why this didn't do so well. But still, I mean, it's still a hit. So.
Okay. Cool.
Take it from there, Dick.
Okay, what's the most illegal thing you've seen in the studio? Ever like making out and stuff, or is there any
in the theater?
In the theater, yeah.
In the auditorium.
And certainly not at
what's
the theater.
What's the worst situation you've ever encountered?
People making love.
Are you serious? Like full out?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that has happened.
Were they drunk?
No, this was during the day.
It's that older, it's that older crowd.
One time.
That's
that older crowd, man.
Yeah.
They're wild. The book club, yeah.
Hey, it's the only time we got available to us, you know.
Yeah. But you would think, okay, we're going to do this in an auditorium that's empty, but it wasn't.
Oof.
There was probably 25 other people in there, and we walked in there, and you could hear them because somebody complained. But I have bad night vision.
Would I get in trouble for filming that? Because I'm filming it inside the theater?
As long as you don't point it at the screen, I guess. You'd probably be all right.
Oh, man.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, but I have bad night vision. So I could
So
hear
you
them,
couldn't identify me then.
but I couldn't see them.
You don't have the little airplane guidance flashlights?
Yeah, but I can't see very well.
You guys need that
So
that
you
technology.
literally, so you walked in and instead of like finding them, you go, hey, I hear you.
No, I went up
Marco!
to, I followed my ears and I went up to the back row and I saw like movement, but you don't want to get this wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to go up to somebody. So I actually had to get pretty close, and it came off like I was maybe just watching them, but I wasn't because I couldn't really see anything. But I finally, once I figured it out,
I couldn't see anything. I waited 20 minutes and watched.
Was not wanting to see.
Yeah, but I didn't see anything. But
sure,
there's
you
definite.
can keep saying that.
Definite
believe
movement.
you.
There was moving around, and
I didn't see anything. I tried. I stood there for 20 minutes. Couldn't see.
See, that's one of those things that I imagine being the GM or like a person of authority, and someone come up to you and going, "Hey, Chris, there's a couple making love in theater 13,
making sweet love in the back."
And
room.
then I'd be like, I bet they wouldn't say they're making love, would they? Would they probably?
Probably not.
No, Chris was being
And I
radio friendly.
Oh man, that'd be so funny. Oh. Well, can people? Okay, so let me ask you don't have to tell us the rules and stuff and like what you can get away with not. So if I'm a patron in there, I'm trying to watch Steven Seagal, and these people behind me are doing this. Can I get like a comp ticket or something? Because that's kind of like messing with my experience.
When you buy your ticket, we are responsible for the presentation of the actual film.
Okay.
So if that presentation is disrupted, it depends on what theater chain you go to, but we always, if there's a big disruption, we'll take care of everybody. So
okay.
Here's a question that came in that actually mirrors the question I have. Brett wants to know: is it all digital now? Do you still have the old reel trays? Because to me, every movie had to come in the big reel cases.
It is all digital now. For a long time, we did have the platters that the films would sit on, and we did have the reels still up there, but those have been since taken out and sold for scrap.
What if someone comes in like old school, like how vinyl's making the comeback? Let's say Spielberg, he wanted to do Ready Player One.
Well, certain
you guys,
few.
Yeah, like I'm talking.
No,
about,
we'd be out of luck. They could not do it. We do not have a way to play film.
You should have held on to one of them.
Yeah. Well, I miss working with film. It's a lot of work to put it together, but when you see it moving, like watching the projector and watching it all strewn throughout the whole building, it's pretty neat.
So the newer generations will never know the expectation of like counting your head how many minutes for was in the reel and watching the little white dots in the top right corner to let you know when to start the next reel.
The cigarette burns. Well, with the platter system, you don't have to do that. You just put the whole movie together and the whole thing sits on this giant like pizza looking platter, and then it feeds off. So you didn't have to change reels or anything. The cigarette burn thing and switching reels was before my time, so I was pretty lucky with that.
So you'll never know that. My son will
But why would they
know.
never know? Why would they need to know that?
Because
there's an art to it.
Yeah, there truly is.
It is.
Yeah, it doesn't matter though.
It's like the good old days when films were made on silver nitrate could burn you up in a heartbeat. When literally watching a movie was a life or death experience.
I've seen movies like that, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. But then again,
I think with digital too, I think you've lost a little bit of the depth. Like with color and the visual of film just looks better to me.
It's brighter. That's
you can saturate it.
Yeah,
better.
more rich
you
colors
can,
and
absolutely.
Like I saw Raiders of the Lost Ark on a 35 millimeter, and it was a lot better experience than I've seen it ever.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny you should mention that. Just the other night, I'd gotten the DVD set or the Blu-ray set for Mrs. Skippy, and she needed her Harrison Ford fix, so we put in Raiders of the Lost Ark just like 2-3 nights ago.
How does that work? She's like, oh,
she watches the movie, then
Sean, baby
afterwards,
Sean.
Yeah,
I gotta tell you, I've been feeling Harrison today.
Basically, she makes me put in the movie, and then afterwards, she throws me a fedora and a bullwhip, and
I need him in a suit and tie.
Mm-hmm.
I need Jack Ryan. I need Harrison. Did she do it like that?
She did. She absolutely did. And I'm saying that because I know she's not listening this morning. I hope to God she's not listening. But I agree with you because we're watching it, and even though they'd upgraded it to kind of HD, they hadn't messed with anything. It wasn't digitized. You could tell it was done.
Well, also, one thing that the movie theaters didn't think about is when they digitize everything, it's so much easier to steal. Like, it is so easy to steal a digital version than, say, a real.
Yeah, you could literally put a movie on an SD card.
There's safeguards.
Well, no, I'm not saying you're stealing it. I'm saying like if I'm a guy and I'm
I can literally fit. I'm saying it can fit in your pocket.
Yeah, I'm a distribution dude, and all I have to do is just put this thing in there while I'm copying the film to distribute or uploading it.
Yeah,
there you go.
Well, that's happened.
Yeah,
with the Wolverine, I think a few years ago that happened. Before the movie was finished, somebody did that.
See, bring back were the reels because they had like 10 of them, and they all weighed like 30 pounds each. They were suitcases.
Because I would say that's the most crucial thing to the movie business that a lot of people don't realize is how much they depend on theaters. Like if to say theaters, people always kind of trying to say like newspapers are going out and movie theaters are going out. Well, if movie theaters go out, a lot of people making movies won't be making the big movies anymore because they're not going to make as much money as they would selling it directly to your home.
Well, if you remember, several months ago, we were talking about that I remember a few years ago, everyone was predicting the death of the cinema.
Mm-hmm.
No one was going to go out, and the smart cinemas were the ones that added food, comfortable seating.
Well, it's an outing now.
Deals. It is. And so they just redefined. There is a drive-in called the Showboat.
Yeah.
2920. I actually went there a couple of years ago. It's awesome. I went back to 1974, man. I'm telling you, I was just tripping all the way back. They had the playground. There's also another one between here and Dallas. And you're driving up 45 and you can see it. And the place is packed and it's got all the movies. The only thing difference is instead of hanging the speaker in your window, it's you tune your radio.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, and we'll always have them. They'll go through highs and lows. And it's like Polaroids. Polaroid was out of existence for 12 days before they realized, hey, we can go retro with this. This is the only way you can get an actual instant photograph, not on your phone. And now they've actually integrated Polaroid onto iPhones.
Mm-hmm.
So they won't die. And again, kudos to your cinema for changing to meet the new demands.
Well, we haven't yet.
We have beer.
But yeah, we have beer.
Well, there you go.
But that's it. That's all we've tried.
I wouldn't get rid of it. I wouldn't do anything else.
That marked the death of Chuck E. Cheese. But in the old days, they sold beer. And the dads would go and we would enjoy. And we would spend many hours there with lots of money. And then one or two fights break out. And all of a sudden, they got to get rid of the beer. And now it's just this horrible place.
Somebody tackles the mouse.
Man,
how long are these people at Chuck E. Cheese's? Like, I mean, I think it's appropriate.
Some of the kids, they're there forever. Speaking of bowling, I need to tell you about bowling the other day. There was a birthday party.
Oh yeah, let's take a break.
Local Bowlerama.
I always like taking breaks right before you're about to tell me something.
Right.
So
just remind me what it was.
You're listening to Morning's Lone Star. It's 9:56. We will be right back.
Conroe Coffee is a local coffee shop located in the heart of downtown Conroe at 206 North Main Street, Conroe, Texas. Conroe Coffee serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner, along with other treats and coffee. For more information regarding store hours and delivery in downtown Conroe, Conroe Coffee is on Facebook or by telephone at 936-266-7632.
We would like to thank Conroe Coffee for being a supporter of Lone Star Community Radio and our morning sponsor with Mornings with Lone Star.
Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show with monthly and weekly slots available in Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776 to take your first step into the radio world.
Business office cleaning is available in the Montgomery County area from Clean Sweep Office Cleaning, with scheduled cleaning services such as floor care, window care, trash collection, restroom disinfection, and stair and elevator cleaning. Clean Sweep can service a business one time or on a regular schedule with daily, weekly, and monthly options. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning can be found online at cleansweepofficecleaning.com or by calling 832-689-7996. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning. Take back your time and let us make your office shine. Mornings with Lone Star is sponsored by Clean Sweep Office Cleaning.
Listen in Mondays at noon to hear Conroe news from local nonprofits, businesses, upcoming events, Conroe Park events, news stories, and information that matters to you with your host, Margie Taylor of Taylorized PR. For more information about being a guest, visit irlonestar.com/Conroe Culture.
Does your company have needs that can be met by an employee who is dependable, hardworking, enthusiastic, motivated, cooperative, respectful, and punctual? Conroe Independent School District Special Education Department can meet your needs by connecting you with potential employees that have been preparing for a lifetime of employment. We have numerous individuals seeking paid and unpaid work experiences. If your company is interested in seeing how we can meet your business needs, call Conroe ISD Special Education Department to find the best employees for you at 936-709-7671.
Wherever we go, and we raise amigos, and we'll be amigos forever. We are the three amigos. We are the three amigos. We are the three
Can we drag it out? No, we'll go for it. Let's see if I can keep talking as long as they're holding this note here. It's 10 o'clock on the dot, and literally on the dot this time. The phone just went from 9:59 to 10 o'clock on the 24th of July. 84 degrees outside, going to go another 11 degrees up. It's clearing up a little bit cloud-wise, but going to get up to 95, and doesn't look like we're going to be breaking 100 again, not for a while. So much for global warming.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's traffic?
Traffic conditions in the Montgomery County area, which we never actually did. I'm just letting you know that.
Yeah, we got sidetracked by my little fender bender witnessing.
I'm looking around. I don't see any fender benders. Actually, I don't see any traffic issues. If you're heading into Houston, you're pretty much good all the way till downtown. On Highway 69, you're good to go through the New Caney and Patton Village area. Looking in Conroe, the Loop, everything's looking good. So there's traffic.
Now, before we talk about bowling, wanting to wrap up the cinema experience, and Chris, let me talk to you about this because, I've got the layman's view of it, and I think that a lot of cinemas did kind of upgrade, the seating and IMAX or whatever to draw people in. But when I was growing up, when we had the movies come out, when Disney brought out a movie, a new cartoon even, it was an event. Mm-hmm. When Star Wars came out or the Star Trek movie, it was an event. When the Black Hole came out or Dragon Slayer, these are movies now that they're nothing, but they were events back then. There are no more events that I can see. They're either pale shadow sequels, Star Wars, Star Trek, or Fast and Furious. What about the death of the events?
That's somewhat by design.
Okay.
It's theaters have started showing. There's really no more like midnight pre-openings where you have like 2,000 people line outside for.
Because I missed those days. We saw. Yes. You said you saw Batman, the '89 Batman, the other day.
Yeah.
When that came out, we did that. The line was stretched around the block.
Now what the studios do is they'll have like it'll open up like at 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock on the Thursday instead of having the one time that everybody shows up. It's a better experience just from a customer service standpoint where you don't have 2,000 people running into the same time trying to get seats. But, a little bit of that had to do with the Dark Knight thing that happened where the guy shot up the theater. And so it was somewhat to make folks feel a little more safe. And movie theaters are safe.
I know we're taking a segue here. Was that kind of too much of a reaction of it? Because an overreaction, do you think? Because to me, it's like taking off my belt and shoes and not having more than 3 ounces of anything at the airport. It's all cosmetic.
Well, I don't think you can ever be too careful when you have that many patrons inside of one place. I mean, security at theaters is pretty good, and ours is pretty good. We definitely want to keep everybody safe, and so spreading out the large crowds, I think they probably felt was a good idea. So you would be able to control a smaller crowd better than you could a larger crowd. So I think that's why they went to that.
I remember when ID4 came out, Independence Day, and the build up to it, they literally were showing it 24 hours a day, the whole weekend long.
Mm-hmm.
And I myself, I couldn't get they were so sold out that I went for the 3 a.m. showing because that was the first one available to me. And as you point out, you want people safe, but you have I know it's 1 or 2 incidents too many in the grand scheme of things, but you only have 1 or 2 incidents, and all of a sudden the entire industry, oh no, now we must take off our pants before we go into the cinema to make sure that there's no, underwear bombs happening. To me, I want to take a dark turn here.
Yeah,
but sometimes
no movie theater wants to put metal detectors or anything like that, and I don't think anybody will do that. It's a family atmosphere. It's a good free place to go where you can feel safe. And it was just the decision that I think the studios got together with the theater owners, and that's just the decision they made to do that. I mean, from an operating standpoint, I love it because it is a challenge. I've worked in the industry when you've had 2,000 people outside waiting to be let in for a midnight show. And, you have to have crowd control outside. And you got to have space for everybody. And it's very challenging.
What would it take to have another? I think the last big one was Lord of the Rings.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the scale of it. Hobbit didn't do nearly as much because it was the Hobbit. Hobbit was a kid's story.
Didn't Force Awakens have that?
Take Star Wars out of it, but no.
It had the pre-opening. It did the same thing. There wasn't like.
And I remember the Dark Knight ones did.
Yeah, but I'm talking the sheer scale of people dressing up and getting the marketing push forward. This is Lord of the Rings. This was huge.
I remember Avengers. The first Avengers movie had it.
Okay, and good point. And the superhero movies they're going to die out soon enough. Everyone's we've had our vampire phase, we've had our superhero phase, we've had our found footage movie phase. They all do rotate. What would it take to have the next? When I say event, just doesn't necessarily have to be a midnight showing, but just something that would bring people to the cinema in droves. Because it can't be yet another sequel. It can't be another Star Trek movie or Star Wars movie.
Like an original thing?
Or
I don't know.
Or an adaptation of something. What literature is out there that hasn't been filmed?
We had a user or a listener, Melanie. She says social media hasn't made it so inexpensive to promote. Like, I'm guessing that's almost directly tied to that because you use those kind of midnight releases as a promotion tool, and getting those people to get excited to go to the theater at midnight for something that hasn't been proven. I don't know. Like, I think it depends on it's kind of the perfect storm of the actor, the promotion, and the movie.
Well, promotions plays a big part. And I know social media, Melanie's absolutely right, is a big part of that now, especially the initial word of mouth, because in the old days, you'd wait until the third day reviews came out before people stopped coming. But now people are tweeting during the movie.
I think it was on the Ticket Stub we talked about this, but I made a comment about it's so weird to me. For example, like in the NFL, there's 30-something teams, and somehow every year, majority of those teams don't have a good quarterback. And I'm like, how many people play that football? How many play the sport football and are not a good? Like, I don't get it. Like, the numbers tell me that there should always be at least 50% good quarterback. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
But when same thing with movies, to me, it's like, how is there not a team of people, more people knowing how to make a good movie? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I feel like the industry's big enough.
Vanity projects. There's some typically foreign guy with a
like
lot
Justice
of money
League.
who just wants.
Like, for example, Justice League or the DC. Like, how are they able to make a bad movie with the content like Justice League?
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I mean,
100%.
Committed to death.
Yeah.
Because clearly Marvel has done something in a business decision to make that's smart enough to understand this is how we're going to make a good movie consistently. Because you can argue that like maybe Iron Man 3 was the worst, but the worst of Marvel's movies are the best of DC movies.
It's poor planning. For instance, I believe it was in Suicide Squad that the Flash kind of makes a cameo appearance, and he's like, "Oh, I'm too early" or something, and it just disappears.
No, that was Batman vs Superman.
Sorry, thank you, Batman versus Superman. Okay, where's the Flash movie?
Well, I mean,
where's the origin story?
You're basically saying that like that was the decision made, and that was a poor decision not to have a Flash movie to support all that stuff.
But it's part of the greater thing.
Yeah.
There's no rhyme nor reason. You have there's actually a Marvel timeline now, which is if you want to watch the movies in chronological, timeline order, here it is. DC doesn't. I'll bet you couldn't put it all together off the top of your head.
Well, they got to start over with that. They have really messed this up.
Also, I think
they being
for this specific
Warner Brothers with
I think the specific
Justice League,
thing,
and those were just god awful movies.
For Marvel DC stuff, I think what they did wrong and what Marvel did right was Marvel presented to the public their 20-year plan, and I think that kind of got people anticipating.
Yeah, you got phase 1, phase 2,
but you knew what movies were coming out. And I think with the DC thing, I don't think I ever fully understood the concept of what they were doing. I got that we just want to make a movie. We'll make a fun movie. We want to make Justice
Avengers
League.
is working. Well, let's do Justice League. But it's like which members, and then
but they did it to compete with Avengers.
Yeah.
Huge mistake. They should have just made
a movie.
Yeah, a good movie. And it didn't have to be like Avengers. They tried to do it like that, and it was just.
And what didn't help is
it was not good.
With the exception of Spider-Man, which for some reason, Tobey Maguire, check. Andrew Garfield, check. They kept on revamping him. The DC universe, you have Batman, you have Keaton, then you have that timeline, the Keaton through Clooney timeline, where that's that, and then it's the Christian Bale, and now it's Ben Affleck. It's like, well, you're not even going with the Christian Bale timeline.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Superman timeline, then you have Superman Returns with Brandon Routh, and then we're just going to forget all that. I love that one. I thought it was amazing, and I was glad that they stuck with the original Christopher Reeve timeline. Okay, now we're gonna get rid of that. We're gonna bring in Zack Snyder, shoot me in the head.
Well, and one thing too, when I start watching movies, the thing I pay attention to in the pattern wise is who's making it. Like who's the screenwriter, who's the director, who's the special effects, and especially who the cinematographer is. Because if you have 2/3 of good people in that list of jobs, it's gonna be it's gonna be a good movie. Like it's not gonna be, it has a chance of being a great movie. But it's very rare that's going to be like one of those movies you walk out and be like, what the heck was going on here?
I think Zack Snyder is just too dark of a person for DC. For the DC universe.
I just think he has one formula.
Yeah, it's angst.
And no, if you watch Sucker Punch and you watch The Watchmen, it's like the same movie.
Yeah, it is, and I love both of them.
Look, it's just kind of
but also everything's angsty with him. The whole thing about Superman, which I love about Christopher Reeve, and I thought Brandon Routh brought back to it, was it was fun.
Yes.
I mean, Superman had a poem in it, for crying out loud. And it wasn't, no one threw up during it. It was part of the story. It was a lot of fun. This is a guy who is so powerful. He's having fun with it. Now it's, I'm an illegal alien.
Well, Man of Steel with Henry Cavill, that was actually a really good movie. And Kevin Costner was in it. And I was like, okay, well, they're on the right track. And then just totally derailed everything. I think they should just scrap the deal. Say, look, we made a mistake. Okay, it didn't work.
Bobby's in the shower.
Yeah, it didn't work. We're going to start over with entirely new casting.
Except for
Wonder
Woman.
Terrible. Yes.
Oh,
I just watched Wonder Woman the other day. The movie.
And that movie wasn't even that good.
It was the best I've seen of all the DCs.
Yeah, but that's not saying anything. That's what I'm saying. The best of the DCs is the worst of the Marvels.
When it's Wonder Woman who blows everyone else out of the water, that's the sad. That's like having who's a really minor character in. That's like having Doctor Strange be the best part of the Avengers.
Well, like, for example, a movie that's coming out, they had Comic-Con in San Diego, which is like the bigger, I think it's still going on, but it's like the biggest Comic-Con, which they release a lot of movies. And there's a movie coming out that I'm interested in now because who's attached to it. So the director is Robert Rodriguez, who's like a 50-50 person with me.
Yeah.
The writers is James Cameron and is called, I can't pronounce it, Alita Battle Angel. Alita?
Spell it.
Alita?
Alita.
And it's like half CGI, half...
It's like the Polar Express?
No. It's like I think the main character is CGI, but the rest are actual actors. But
if it's James Cameron,
and that looks...
And he has that
I think
Avatar
it's based off
technology, so...
Yeah, it's going to look good. If James Cameron's attached to it, it's going to look good at least.
And 1 billion people are going to go watch it.
Yeah, I hope so.
That may that's what I was asking earlier. What's the next big event? What piece of literature is out there? The Lord of the Rings is in check. It's gone. There's nothing out there of such a saga level, or is there? And I'm kind of asking, what would be the new Star Wars? Because before Star Wars, there was no Star Wars, if that makes sense.
Well, I think a lot of people who are making movies, you got to think of timeline. All right, so today we found a book series. When do you want to make it? Because it's not going to be for next summer.
ASAP.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I
don't know. I
take
think
any book series from the last 20 years.
I would look at it as saying, hey, let's do 3 years and then we'll start making it, because Star Wars is going to consume for so long. Like I'm talking about the big section of the box.
Yeah, but unless they decide to pull the fourth trilogy out, it's about to...
Well, I'm saying it's going to end here. After the episode, whatever, the last one, I think that's when new things can start coming out and taking over the reins of... But
the new things can't be adaptations of... I mean, Harry Potter may be the last one, but even that one kind of limped over the finish line, I felt.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to let those things die out before something else takes its place.
But there's nothing out there because,
we
Harry
don't know
Potter...
yet. Star Wars is still coming out.
But no, I'm talking existing literature. Existing stories.
Well, there's a new Harry Potter.
That's on our radar.
That's play. And supposedly they're making a screenplay out
Oh
of
no, they have the new
play.
Harry Potter movies coming out. They released a trailer 3 days
Yeah,
ago.
that's
What's
the
it
new,
called?
that's the new
that's-
Fantastic Beast. But what I mean is that, okay, so that's, you have Twilight, you have Harry Potter, you have Tolkien, because they're going to do the Silmarillion next.
Yeah.
I just bet
Well, I
you
think this
anything.
Alita is a comic book.
Is it comics? Is it graphic novels that are going to be the next? You know, is it going to be a big screen version of The Killing Joke? Is it going to be a big screen version of, you know, what is there that is 5, 10, 20 years old literature wise that they could use as the source material? And I think after Lord of the Rings, that was the last big one. That's where they tried doing it again with The Hobbit and it just failed miserably. It kills me to say it. I wanted it to succeed, but it's terrible.
No, it sucked.
And
Lord of the Rings sucked too.
No.
I beat you. Turn off the video camera so I can beat you without witnesses.
Well, we got to take a break, guys.
Okay.
And that was fun talking movies, but we really do have to take a break. You're listening to Mornings with Lone Star, irlonestar.com. Don't forget, we're broadcasting live on Facebook and YouTube. You can join us, leave a comment, all that kind of good stuff. We have Chris Appel from the Ticket Stub podcast and also the GM of the Grand Theater here in Conroe. So you got questions for him, you know what to do on Facebook and, of course, YouTube. We'll be right back.
You are listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZW LP Conroe and 106.1 KZCC LP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Business office cleaning is available in the Montgomery County area from Clean Sweep Office Cleaning, with scheduled cleaning services such as floor care, window care, trash collection, restroom disinfection, and stair and elevator cleaning. Clean Sweep can service a business one time or on a regular schedule with daily, weekly, and monthly options. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning can be found online at cleansweepofficecleaning.com or by calling 832-689-7996. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning. Take back your time and let us make your office shine. Mornings with Lone Star is sponsored by Clean Sweep Office Cleaning.
Conroe Coffee is a local coffee shop located in the heart of downtown Conroe at 206 North Main Street, Conroe, Texas. Conroe Coffee serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner, along with other treats and coffee. For more information regarding store hours and delivery in downtown Conroe, Conroe Coffee is on Facebook or by telephone at 936-266-7632.
We would like to thank Conroe Coffee for being a supporter of Lone Star Community Radio and our morning sponsor with Mornings with Lone Star.
Want to check out the fastest growing sport in the world? It's right here in Conroe, Texas, and it's roller derby. Conroe Roller Derby is a nonprofit recreational league of women and men who want you to come and check out the fast-paced, hard-hitting game of roller derby. The Conroe Cutthroats practice at Rainbow Roller Rink on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. You can find our game schedule and more information on our website, www.conroerollerderby.com.
Conroe Coffee is a local coffee shop located in the heart of downtown Conroe at 206 North Main Street, Conroe, Texas. Conroe Coffee serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner, along with other treats and coffee. For more information regarding store hours and delivery in downtown Conroe, Conroe Coffee is on Facebook or by telephone at 936-266-7632.
We would like to thank Conroe Coffee for being a supporter of Lone Star Community Radio and our morning sponsor with Mornings with Lone Star.
Hispanic Chamber Connections with Dr. Carlos Sanchez, president of the Woodlands Conroe Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, featuring event announcements, member highlights, and more. Tuesdays at 1 p.m., broadcasting from the heart of Conroe, Texas on irlonestar.com and Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1.
Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show with monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5 and 106.1 and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the station message line at 936-647-3776.
Wherever they need us, our destinies lead us, amigos, we're always together. Wherever we go, if we play flamingos, and we'll be amigos forever. We are the three amigos.
10:19 on the dot on Mornings with Lone Star with Dick and Skippy and Chris Appel.
So, hey, Chris, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
If I came in and watched a movie and I stayed for another movie, do you call the cops or do you just kick me? How do you do that? Because I imagine.
Do you have tasers?
No. No, we just ask if you have a ticket to that movie, and if you don't, you got to go buy a ticket. It's as simple as that.
And what if Dick says no?
Yeah,
what if Dick says
I'm like, I threw it away. I threw it away.
Yeah, if I had a nickel for every time I heard that.
Well,
it's here somewhere.
Let me look in this trash can.
We're pretty good about knowing who got one and who didn't. So.
Yeah.
I can't reveal our secrets. But
do you take bribes? Like if someone slips you $3?
No, I've never done that. Never done that.
Do you get a ticket if you use Movie Pass?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Sure do. A physical ticket. When it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Movie Pass had a problem, didn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
We talked about it on the last show. I think it was when their Surge thing had an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Oops. Yeah, you can't do Surge.
We know Chris really doesn't like Movie Pass.
He's not a fan.
Hey, I've never said that. I'm just reporting the facts.
That's right. You are there, and you're dealing with people who.
He's been on the receiving end of the irate customer.
Well, yeah, they do sometimes.
Yeah.
We try to take care of them as best we can.
I still don't like. Anyway, I think we were talking about this on the last show, and I'm still amazed that the certain theaters who were built 20 years ago still have those like end concession stands that are never open. And
I'm telling you, you just want to reach across. No one's there. Grab some jujubes, leave.
They've been there for 10 years. Like I doubt Chris sends someone over there.
My plan is to pack my body with enough preservatives that I live forever. You know, they say you can keep a Twinkie on a fence post for 20 years. Well, if I eat enough Twinkies, I live to be 3,000, man.
There you go.
Well, because that's one thing that as the movie business, a lot of people don't realize is a lot of your money that the theater makes is through concessions.
Yeah.
And
almost 100%. Yeah.
And I would say, good average of every time I go to the theater, a lot of people are getting stuff.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah.
People still want the.
And they still complain how expensive it is.
As they reach for the wallet. I haven't paid this much for popcorn in 20 years.
I know,
large, please.
My buddy, we used to go see a lot of movies together at the AMC at Willowbrook, and he would sneak in like the craziest thing I ever seen him sneak in was a 24 wing pack from Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah,
and like I still am amazed by that. And
I wouldn't want to eat them. I'd be afraid where they came from.
Well, I mean, that's when cargo shorts are really popular, and
QED.
Yeah, and he like because it was right.
He had 24 wings in his shorts.
24 wings.
Wow.
One can hope that they were packaged. Just like get the pocket lint out of your teeth on that one.
It was real extreme. Like he brought a bunch of napkins. So what he'd do is he put napkins all over the seat next to him, and so that's where he could put his trash.
Oh,
the smell alone would get management running. You eating wings? No.
Yeah.
No,
I'll tell you what was
you're
funny
talking about. He's herding sheep with like 16-year-olds. You realize that?
It's got to be like herding cats.
I think didn't we ever talk about that? I go, it's kind of funny to think about, normal people, normal jobs, but then in your job, you're pretty much like what's the average age in the building?
About 16, 17, yeah.
And like imagine
no, it's a challenge. It is.
You're like they all think that they're the master of deception.
Do you do the ringleader kind of like strategies where you put a pike out with a head, like don't cross me? And then
not exactly. No. That used to be a philosophy.
If you immediately take down the leader, then the others will fall into line. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Does anyone like challenge you for leadership?
No.
Just put the heel of your palm, shove it upwards in their nose.
Oh no, you can't do that.
They hit the floor, and
because I got to fill out a report if I do that. And
only if they find the body. That's all I'm saying.
You either fill a report if like you kick somebody out.
No.
Only if he sucker punches them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's one thing I guess I'd be worried about since y'all serve alcohol now. But like, there's no one going to be getting hammered drunk there, is there?
Not that we've encountered.
Yeah.
So, no. It's
but Chuck
going
E.
really well.
For some reason, they do. How cheap was the beer at Chuck E. Cheese's?
Oh well, this is 1980s dollars, so I think you can get a pitcher for like $5. But unfortunately, it just takes one dad who had one cup too many and ruins it for everybody else. But we did have fun drinking and playing the other day. You know, we're on bowling.
Bowling.
The other day.
I've been trying to explain to Holly that since we moved up here, we need to go check out 300 Bowling because it is the best bowling alley I've been to in a while because it's cheap and it's fun and it's very relaxing there.
We had some fun. It was
the attitude's very relaxed.
It was the young man's 8th birthday party, and a lot of adults were there. Rick the Reluctant Cowboy was there. Mrs. Skippy and I were there. And we had a lot of fun. And unfortunately, like my first frame that I bowled, I did a strike. So everyone thought I was like this ringer. And I came in like the 3rd lowest score. In fact, the only person I beat was Carly.
Okay.
Carly was there.
Carly bowled. That's impressive.
Carly bowled well. And this is thanks to Dennis for reminding me. Different coaches tried to teach Carly how.
Did you get a bumper? Did you get bumpers?
No bumpers. But what I ended up doing, it's those who tried to coach Carly, who for those of you who don't know is visually impaired. She went through the coaches until it was my turn, and I guided her there, and she actually knocked some pins down. So I was the coach at the time, so I got to teach the blind woman how to bowl, and until we could get it down to a fine art, she'd be welling the ball and it hit the gutter. And I got tired of saying, "Oh, another gutter ball next time." That I go racing down the lane, sliding down to grab the ball before it hit the.
They didn't care. They didn't care you were doing that.
Well, fortunately, the place was so packed that they really didn't notice. And I think the people around us.
I don't believe that for a second because that line is like it is. No one sees any action but bowls. From bowling balls.
They didn't
like
care.
If I saw a person, if I was just sitting there with a quarter of my eye, because that's what the courtesy thing is don't bowl while someone else is about to bowl. Right. So clearly when I see a man running down the lane,
I
I'm
was
like, something's going on.
very apologetic to the people to our left because they weren't part of the party. Now people to our right, they were part of the party. They were making fun of the whole thing because I'm sliding all over the place. It's like the Groucho Marx movie on ice. But the people to our left, when they realized, I think that I'm trying to teach a blind woman how to bowl with no bumpers.
Bumpers actually add another element to it.
I love the late night, when bowling alleys get the Friday night, they go do the black lights and the bumping music. And I miss those.
I hate that.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding. It depends on my mood.
No, what about the roller
I feel like
rinks?
if you go to any bowling alley after 10 p.m., it's going to be that.
Yeah, as it should be.
So
like roller rinks.
Well, yeah, they always play music and stuff like that.
Yeah, but I mean, you need to get thumping where it's not the couples dance only. Okay, that stuff closes down at 10. 10:01, you bring out the Metallica. And
Adult Swim?
Yes, Adult Swim on the rolling rink.
That's funny. But no, so 300 Bowling, was a price fair?
The party was paid for, but I did hear that there was a miscommunication and the party throwers were actually double charged, literally double what they were told they were going to be charged.
Oh, wow.
So they're not happy. It was a good experience. And I know, the people who threw the party, they're not those to publicly complain too much. So I know they swallowed the cost. It was a bowling alley. We have Bolero in the Woodlands.
Well, that's one thing that always confuses me about bowling is they try to do these varied prices depending on like literally the time. So like, and they try to do that where, from 4 to 6, it's half price. But right when you hit the 6, then they'll be like, since you went over at 6, the whole thing is full price and stuff like that.
I don't know if that was the situation, but I did feel for the party throwers because they got the bill. They're like, "What? This is not what was quoted." So, they said the manager told us this. Well, the manager's gone home. Well, can you call him? No, he's gone home. And so there was not that desire that I know that Chris and his crew would provide in a similar situation at the cinema. Right?
Oh yeah, I get calls at home all the time.
I'll keep that in mind.
There's no joke there.
Yeah.
It's true. That's the truth.
Call your manager. He said I could see all the movies for one ticket price. That's what he said, and free popcorn.
That has happened.
Hey, let's do something a little different. How can I cheat your movie theater? Tell me what the angles. Like one of my buddies.
I can't say that.
So one of my buddies, I think it was AMC at the time. They did like one of those free bag refills. If you have the bag, you get a free refill. So he would keep the bag, and he put it in his cargo pocket. And then when you go see a movie, whip it out and like pretend to be getting stuff for the. You're like, can I get a refill real quick?
I think that's why they tend to do the bags now based on the movies, right? That week.
Yeah, it depends on. Yeah, sometimes we get the movie monogram bag.
What's the best deal you could get that most people don't know?
Do you have a secret menu?
We did not have a secret menu. No, everything is up there. The large popcorn and 2 large drinks, and
now why is that better than?
Well, you get a free refill on everything. So
on all 3 of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the large popcorn, you'll always get a free refill.
1 free refill, yeah.
Okay, people eat that much popcorn?
Well, it's mostly air. Movie popcorn is a special blend, or actually puffs larger, like 3 times larger than your typical popcorn, isn't it? Something like that.
There's it's expansion ratio is what it's called.
Expansion ratio.
It's the fancy term.
The science of movie popcorn.
It is, yes, but no, that's moisture content and all that stuff has to do with that.
Man, there's a whole science to that.
There is a whole science, yeah.
It's an algorithm.
So you're saying the 2 large drinks and a popcorn was it like $30?
No.
I don't know. I was just guessing.
That's what, 12?
No,
it's not.
Well, it's higher than that.
It's
about
probably
$20.
Yes, I think it's $20. Something like
somewhere between 12 and 30 is the sweet spot.
And you have the rewards program there.
We do.
So how does that work? So every movie or every item I purchase, I get points, and then I get to come in.
It's $10 a year to sign up. You get a free small popcorn, a free small drink when you sign up.
Yeah, and that's actually the same price as a small popcorn.
Yeah, it's $10, and so you get 10% back on every dollar you spend in the form of points. And then once you get to 100 points, you get a $10 voucher. But you always get free upgrades and concessions. So it's pay for a small, get a medium, pay for a medium.
This
get
is
a
random.
large.
Wait, is this one you here?
No,
is that the other one? Okay,
that's the other.
That's bad.
Well, you're going to match this offer because I want to go see something this afternoon.
Did a dog get a hold of that too?
Nah, it's my wallet.
That's why him sliding all over the bowling alley floor. So is it random, or is that always like every time I have my card, I can always get a free upgrade?
Every time.
So what happens if I order the medium popcorn, 2 medium drinks? That gets upgraded to the large popcorn too?
Yeah.
But they are smart that the difference between the medium and large is negligible for that very purpose.
Man, I didn't know that next time I go in there.
It's a pretty decent. I think it's 150 ounces is the large, and there's 105 for the medium. So
you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what theater we're talking about. Oh, is this you? I mean, I've been saying the right name the whole time. Have I been saying Star Cinema Grill?
Why you got to mention that now? Why you got to mention that?
Yeah, why you got to go there?
It's a good place. It's a good place.
Yeah, is there?
Well, you have like 14.
Or you have like competition?
It's just a different theater.
Do you sabotage each other?
No.
They only have 4 screens now, or they have 6 screens.
6, I think. Yeah.
You have 14.
14.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we need to talk about how you're going to match this offer that I have in my wallet. Yeah. I want to go watch a movie today now.
Hey, you got to listen to the Ticket Stub. We give away 2 tickets on every show.
Every show.
But
every single show we give them away.
Okay. If we remember.
If you remember.
We'll be right back. You're listening to Mornings Lone Star.
Lone Star Community Radio is looking for those who are interested in hosting their own talk show. With monthly and weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the message line at 936-647-3776 to take your first step into the radio world.
Lone Star Boxer Rescue is a nonprofit organization serving Montgomery County and surrounding areas, dedicated to the health and well-being of the boxer breed. Lone Star Boxer Rescue is run and managed 100% by volunteers since 1999. Our main objective is to rescue, rehabilitate, and rehome boxers that come to us from many sources, including local animal shelters, owner surrenders, and strays. For more information about Lone Star Boxer Rescue, visit our website at lsbr.org.
Business office cleaning is available in the Montgomery County area from Clean Sweep Office Cleaning, with scheduled cleaning services such as floor care, window care, trash collection, restroom disinfection, and stair and elevator cleaning. Clean Sweep can service a business one time or on a regular schedule, with daily, weekly, and monthly options. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning can be found online at cleansweepofficecleaning.com or by calling 832-689-7996. Clean Sweep Office Cleaning. Take back your time and let us make your office shine. Mornings with Lone Star is sponsored by Clean Sweep Office Cleaning.
The Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service has been dedicated to educating Texans for over a century. In 1915, the Extension Program was established under the federal Smith-Lever Act to deliver university knowledge and agricultural research findings directly to the people. Ever since, AgriLife Extension programs have addressed the emerging issues of the day, serving diverse populations across the state. Texans turn to Extension for solutions in horticulture, agriculture, 4-H and youth, and family and consumer sciences. Extension agents respond not only with answers, but also with resources and services that result in significant returns on investment to boost the economy. Join us Fridays at 1 o'clock for the AgriLife Extension Hour.
Conroe Coffee is a local coffee shop located in the heart of downtown Conroe at 206 North Main Street, Conroe, Texas. Conroe Coffee serves breakfast, lunch, and dinner, along with other treats and coffee. For more information regarding store hours and delivery in downtown Conroe, Conroe Coffee is on Facebook or by telephone at 936-266-7632.
We would like to thank Conroe Coffee for being a supporter of Lone Star Community Radio and our morning sponsor with Mornings with Lone Star.
Wherever we go, we play flamingos, and we'll be amigos forever.
Welcome back. Mornings with Lone Star here on Lone Star Community Radio. It's 10:35. We're broadcasting live on IRLoneStar.com and Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1 on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Thanks for joining us. We have a special co-host today, Chris Appel with the Grand Theater and also co-host of the Ticket Stub podcast, which is on every Thursday at noon o'clock. Win tickets to the Grand Theater and also Movie Tavern if you live in that area. And that's every show. So we usually do like a question and you got to answer it. And so sometimes it's obscure, sometimes it's themed. And this week's gonna be good.
Now apparently you've hit the bottom of the barrel for August the 8th, right?
Yeah,
the
you're
9th.
The 9th.
It's a Thursday.
Yeah, let me add that now to the calendar.
Because I don't know.
Yes,
Sean knows what day it is today.
Sean will be co-hosting on the 9th.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. Because we didn't get to talk to him last time. I wanted to interview him because he's got a lot of movie experience. So I wanted to talk to him about that. But this week we've got the Burris is back.
Yeah.
And we're going to be playing Stump the Burris.
I thought
again.
Connor was here this week. I
No,
thought
he's
next
not.
week.
No, that's next week. So
I don't keep tabs on that guy.
yeah, he's
the Burris.
The Burris.
He has this uncanny ability to guess pretty closely the box office money.
100% accurate.
Wow.
No, he
Pretty
didn't get
much.
mine.
Yeah. Okay. We will never forget the time where he
I
actually
stumped him.
stumped him. So
But no, he's like really
Are
like
these adjusted dollars?
no, like
No,
he'll like
original.
and it's I think the timeline is it after
I think we did 1995 to
today.
2018.
Yeah,
so.
and he
Wow.
Yeah, he
and
can do
it could
yeah.
be like any movie that came out too.
Yeah.
Not just like, oh, how did Star
Does
Wars
he just
do?
have a sense of it, or is he the guy that reads the box office?
He does. He's very,
Results.
very
And
involved
I
in
think
that,
what we're
yeah.
gonna try to do is I want to have a game, a long-term game with him. Is I want to pick a movie for the next 6 months, or like I would say 6 weeks, the release, and like what do you think the movie's gonna make?
Yeah, he does do that. He plays those games online.
Yeah.
I think one year he won like nationally.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool.
Very interesting.
I think he won a $25 gift
Well, he
card. But
beat the pants off of me. I wouldn't know the first thing about a box office.
yeah, this is pretty neat. So he'll be here this Thursday. So I'm excited about that.
I'll tune in.
I will.
Well, I got to learn what the heck's going on, so when I come back on,
Yeah.
know what to expect.
Well, I mean, I know the world of the movies is always going to be changing. I'm still waiting for them to do the pay-per-view thing. And I think there's like a big internal struggle, and we don't know about it yet, between the movie producer people and the movie theater people. Because to me, it makes complete sense to do a $60 ticket fee on pay-per-view. Like, if you're already going to release it, you already made it. It's just another avenue to make maybe more money. How hard is it to set up?
I explain. I'm not sure.
Well, they were talking about doing
like a wrestling match?
same day releases. So, for example, Mission Impossible Fallout comes out Friday,
right,
or Thursday, whatever they do now. And the idea was you could go to your cable provider and it'd be like a pay-per-view price instead of like rental price, which is like $7, $8.
Mhm.
It'd be a pay-per-view price for $60, and you could have a watch party or something. Because that's where we're talking about. The reason they make so much money, like why the movie people love movie theaters, is because they're making money per watcher instead of per view. So they have to balance that out where my average family brings 3 to 5 kids or 5 people. And like they want to be able to monopolize on that or make money off that if you're watching at home. Because I could technically invite everyone to my house and have 15 people there and we can all watch Mission Impossible Fallout for $8. And that they don't want that. They want you to go to the theater.
I mean, we as a theater operator certainly do not want that.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. And like, but that's probably the longest talked about method, and it's never been executed.
It is on independent films. They release at the same time as some theaters have it, so it's in theaters and you can also watch it at the same time.
Well, and the Netflix, I mean, they're trying to. I know Netflix and Amazon were running into that problem with film award syndicate things because there's some certain film award people required you to be in a theater for X amount of weeks,
right?
And so they would pay certain theaters just to show this movie so many times. But I mean, that's the way they have to work around it. But it's available on Netflix. But you didn't know that? You didn't know they were trying to do something like that?
No.
It was like they were going to range it from like $30 to $60 to like whatever.
But so let's say it was the new Mission Impossible movie. So I pay my $60 to get into the cinema. And what am I getting for it?
No, not the cinema, at home.
At home.
So how is the cinema? This is where I'm being dumb right now. So where are the cinemas getting in on this?
They're not.
We're not.
Oh, I got you. Well, and that's why, kind of going back to my original point, that the cinemas, the smart ones, found ways to get you out of the house to keep you from watching paying $60 with 10 friends. It's like, hey, for the same price, you can come here, and we have comfortable seating, and we'll serve you food, and we'll give you.
They don't do that at the Grand. The
And
Grand just offers
and
a good movie
IMAX
experience and clean floors.
We are going to,
and they don't allow people to do it, and that is one of the few places.
Yes, we
like at Star Spinner Grill,
I don't
they
recall.
let you do whatever you
I
want.
don't recall Chris saying that he actually stopped them. Remember, he said he had to get very close to make sure they were doing something, but then for some reason the tail just ended at that point.
I did stop them. I said something along the lines of like, "Hey, you can't do that in here. You got to leave." And they didn't even care. They just got up, didn't say
Zipped
anything.
up,
Yep. Just
left.
Just walked out. Didn't say nothing.
I think it would have been great if you just turned on the lights and you came over the intercom. Is there an intercom in the room?
There's a way to do it. We've never done it, but yes.
And be like, excuse me.
I'm gonna go.
I'll
to
tell
the
you
toy
one
store.
time. The first theater I can talk about this because it was not at the current theater I'm at. The first theater I managed, I was working projection, and there was a couple that was in the auditorium by themselves, and they were going at it.
Indelecte flagrento.
Yes, and so I sent a manager in there to stop them. But this was the movie was over. So it's like the lights were up, is in the credits. They're still doing it. So the person goes in there and they stand at the bottom, like hoping the people will see them. And they did see them, but they didn't stop. And so eventually they did stop. They come walking down the stairs, and the guy just says to the manager, he's like, "Oh, I was looking for my keys." It's like, where were you? Where'd you lose them?
And how did they end up in there?
Yeah, I know. I just thought that was pretty funny. But
looking for my keys.
Yeah. People just don't care.
Is there like a Mile High Club equivalent label for it? Like the real club?
I would presume there are some kind of the clubs out there that.
What do people call it?
Meetup.com.
No, I mean, like they always say, like, "Oh, I want to join the Mile High Club."
Yeah, most overrated.
What would you call a movie
theater?
theater? What would you call a movie? Hey, depends on who you're with.
No, trust me. On
you
this
always going solo on that.
No, My High Club is hypothetically not worth the grief, and I'll just leave it at
the
that.
Star is Born Club. The Stars. There you go. More ways than one, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe somebody will be born after that.
Yeah, they're gonna be a big star.
Yeah,
but
you were conceived during the screening of What Dreams May Come.
Speaking of conceptions, just real quick. So I was invited to a party at Dozy Doe Big Barn the other night.
Yeah.
And they had a Bee Gees tribute band playing. And I did not realize the hold that the Bee Gees still have on people. There could have been dozens of spontaneous pregnancies, and except that the average age of the female audience member was postmenopausal. These women were doing, even my own wife was this far away from like throwing her own brassiere on the stage for these guys.
Let me tell you something.
It was insane.
On Thursday on the Ticket Stub, I lost the game. So I have to see Mamma Mia the second one. So I had no idea what Mamma Mia was, and so I saw that it was available on Netflix. So Jason and Leo came over because I was like, and Holly had no interest, and I didn't realize who ABBA was really.
Yeah,
because I knew of ABBA and I knew a couple. Of
Yeah,
songs,
you're a little young
but they
for
had
ABBA.
the whole movie where it's ABBA songs, and I go, I think a lot of people liked this movie because of that. And then I saw how much money they made, and I was like, yeah. I get it now. Like the people still like ABBA this much, and they even say like even you read the reviews. One of my favorite reviewers is I want to say his name right. It's in English. He's in England, and his name's Mark Carmamode. I want to say that's how you pronounce his last name. But he's a very respected film critic. He's one of those Roger and Ebert kind of like a very, very enlightened on the film world, and he loves critiquing things. Well, I was listening to him, and he basically says, I couldn't help myself because of the ABBA songs. The plot didn't make a lot of sense.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
very stupid.
The plot's non-existent. It was just
The
strung
acting
along. It's
in
called a
between,
jukebox musical.
It's okay, but the music gets you going. And it was really hard. He's like, it's like one of the weirdest movie experiences he's ever had because he's like, this isn't good. Why do I like this? And then
Purely the songs.
And I can see it.
So you watched it?
I watched Mamma Mia, the first one.
What'd you think of Pierce Brosnan singing?
Well, that's my movie review for this week. Because next week's gonna be Mamma Mia, the seconding happening.
Okay,
the
so
return.
we'll hear about Pierce Brosnan singing on Thursday.
Stick to Remington Steele, Pierce.
Actually, I didn't think it was that bad. Have you seen the movie?
I am in musical theater, and I still hated Mamma Mia with a white hot passion. It was just horrible. It was
I think
terrible.
I was thankful for is I didn't even know what it was. Like I think I might have heard it had to like the way I describe it now to people is if you've ever seen Across the Universe, it's very similar to that. They tell a story based off of an artist's songs.
Songs that weren't written for that purpose.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And that's the problem with the jukebox musical because Billy Joel's got one called Moving Out.
Yeah.
Whenever it's like these songs weren't meant to further a plot. So you're trying to bastardize
Well,
them
especially
into
with when you take a step back and look at what's really happening in the story, a lot of stuff is really weird. And like it might sound good in the song. Thank goodness I had subtitles on because I don't know ABBA songs. I was like, what are they really trying to tell me here? Like one of the strangest things with the movie was the mom never told the whole premise of the first one is she invites her maybe dads to her wedding because her mother never told her one thing until the daughter found a diary, and somehow the mom slept with 3 dudes within the same time period that might be their dads
within the same ovulation period.
Yeah.
Mama's a hussy.
Well,
no
then
kidding.
then Holly goes, what's weird is really technically there's only 1 to 2 days that a woman is off.
Right.
And I'm like, wait a second. So this movie's telling me, and she even calls herself out in the movie that she was a slut. Like I get it. And I was just like, but they're not really. I think it's really strange the way they present it because it's all happy and all that stuff. I was like, isn't that kind of weird?
I could have made this movie for like 1/10 of the budget. It's like get 3 Q-tips and say, open up, wait 2 weeks, and we're gonna,
Oh, okay.
And then,
I didn't know what you meant there for
DNA swabs.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I will say, and I'm notorious for this with Holly, is like when she wants to watch one of her silly movies, I always read about it and kind of get the gist of what the movie is. This is the first, like one of the first times in a long time I did not spoil the movie for myself. I didn't do any research. And I did tell Holly, I was like, I'm actually enjoying this movie because of that. Because I don't know what's going on and I don't really care. I mean, even after the end of the film, I even called it like halfway through the film. I go, you know what's going to happen? This, and this. And I go, I think that's what's going to happen. It's going to happen something similar to that. And it did. And I was like, but it's not making a bad movie. But it was just kind of like,
well, I knew what to expect. That's what for me. It was just watching, going, okay, what other movie song are they going to bastardize?
Is that not a Broadway or not Broadway? I keep forgetting Broadway.
Yeah, it's a Broadway musical.
It is. Yeah.
So okay,
it's huge.
Side question: Broadway means New York.
Yes.
Okay, but Broadway doesn't mean L.A., Houston. So when I say I'm going into Houston to watch a Broadway, I'm like, no, you're wrong. It's a musical.
You can watch a Broadway bound show or a show that's like
is Broadway
Phantom of the
only
Opera.
musical?
No.
So Broadway is just a place.
Yeah.
So
Broadway's an actual Broadway Avenue in New York.
So is Mamma Mia a musical?
Yes.
Is that before or after the movie?
Before. It was its turn from the
that makes sense then.
in the movie.
It was only a matter of time before they did a movie.
Well, the second one, Mamma Mia 2, Here We Go Again, that's what it's called.
Is not.
It is. No, it's not, but it's better reviewed than the last one.
Yeah, we talked about the Rotten Tomato game.
But you should really enjoy this one.
I'm probably
sequel,
not. I'm probably not going to really enjoy it. But
the problem is the sequel features the songs that didn't make the cut for the first one.
Man, when I walked by that theater,
Leo was very educated on ABBA, and she knew a lot of the songs. And then she's like, "That's not even a lot of their popular songs." I was like, "Oh, well, they're probably going to be in this next one."
Well, because they had to find songs that would further the plot. It's like, okay, we can change the gender of this one to "Does Your Mother Know?" So a girl can sing it instead of a guy this time. Or,
I mean, if anything, if I'm ABBA, I'd be like, "Yeah, give it."
Oh, they got it. Believe me, they're not hurting for this one. In fact, they've actually reunited again, and this is a group that's more fractured than Fleetwood Mac. They actually literally married each other. You have two guys and two girls, and Guy A was married to girl A, and Guy B was married to girl B, and then they got divorced, and then they swapped spouses. They got married, and then they got divorced.
That's a cool VH1 after
behind the music,
behind the band, or
yeah.
I would love to just sit there and be like, "So when did you decide this to switch? And when did y'all decide to make it okay? Was it the money?
Yeah, it was the money and the music.
Had it been.
Well, I loved my favorite VH1 behind the music was for AC/DC because there was no band strife the whole time. It was them just loving, Brian, the singer who replaced Mon Scott was going on. This is a dream come true. They all loved each other. They'd had a great time. It was almost boring watching it, but it was refreshing.
Oh, I wanted to ask y'all, and especially you, Skippy. I watched this interesting documentary on Netflix called Wild Wild Country. And it was basically a thing covering the Bagwam thing, the OSHA Bagwam, that guru that built that thing in Oregon.
Oh.
And I don't know if you were really around for that time because you might have been in another country.
I think, what year was that?
It was like the 80s, early 80s.
It was right around.
I was born in 86, and I think they got all the legal trouble like in 85.
I just moved back to America from England.
Well, it's somewhat an international story, but I had questions about that. And I was like, a lot of stuff the show presented, I was like, this isn't what really happened during that time. Because I didn't realize, they probably went to a lot of movie theaters and did it. That's what kind of religion it was, where there's just carefree during the 70s and early 80s. But they didn't really touch on that. And I was kind of disappointed in what they're showing. And I don't know where I'm going with this. I don't know why I brought it up.
I'll tune into it on Netflix and watch.
It's interesting. It's like a 6-series part, and it's pretty extreme.
Interesting.
But
so it's like a cult?
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Like the way they present it in the show, it is and it isn't. And there's a lot of legal stuff in it that's very interesting, as if you're like a constitutional law. Like, to give you an idea, what happened was they were in India and they were afraid to be prosecuted for XXX reasons. So they moved and they bought this like 80, I think it was either 8,000 or 80,000 acre place in Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the people in the surrounding areas didn't really like what they were doing because they're basically building a city, like a full out city.
Mm-hmm.
And they use legal things to prevent them. So what the city people or the Bagwam people basically did is they used the current laws in the area to change the way, like they took over the city council. They, basically consumed the surrounding areas. And there was an interesting thing on the legal side because, for example, they wanted to keep growing the ownership. So they were going to take over the county. And so what they did was the current registration voter laws where you had to be a resident of the county for 20 days. So they bust a bunch of homeless people to hang out in the commune. Basically, you can stay here, you're going to live with us for 20 days, and they're going to vote. Well, they literally, I think it was either the U.S. or the state government prevented them from voting. And I was like, I feel like there's someone been a bit sued for this, and it's not going to be what you think.
There was a not dissimilar situation that happened not too long ago in Montgomery County. Just when there's a situation with, so I only have to have the residents can be a hotel room here for 30 days. Okay. And someone actually went to jail for.
Yeah. Like voter fraud was the deal. But I was like, man, that's kind of an interesting scenario.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's very up in the air because it's not technically fraud when you're following the law. But then it got to, it's not the spirit of you follow the letter, but not the spirit. Well, it's the letter that counts.
Yeah.
And it caused a big kerfluffle here in Montgomery County just a couple of years ago.
Yeah. And that's why I was kind of interested to see they changed the laws clearly after that. But what an interesting concept is to bust all those people in so they could have voters And it was weird, a weird documentary, just because it was right before I was born. No one ever told me about it, and how serious, because people were thinking it was going to be a Jonestown kind of situation, and it was just a giant commune basically, and the leaders were just a little weird.
A lot of people were trying to find
themselves.
Try to
kill people, like my favorite one that was a surprise was the salmonella. They basically put, like, a group of them put it together, and they went to the local salad bars and put it all over the food because they're trying to prevent people from voting. So they made like 800 people sick.
Wow.
No one died though. So I was wondering if it was...
Well, the 80s, that was the decade of excess for sure. We talked about it before. A lot of people were convinced that we were all going to go up in nuclear dust against the Soviet Union. Going against the yuppie movement formed, going against the me generation of the 60s with free love and kumbaya. Their kids were like, no, I grew up with nothing with a name like Moonchild, so I'm going to now become a bank vice president and live for it today. And that led to the sexual revolution, which came to a screeching halt with the onset of AIDS. And so they got into grunge, where their kids were like, oh, too much success. I've got guilt for being I have everything paid for, so I'm going to wear flannel. And then their kids, and that's how just each generation kind of is a mirror reflection of the previous.
You're listening to Mornings Lone Star. Chris, thanks for coming in today.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me. This was a lot of fun. So definitely.
Yeah. We're going to have some special guests tomorrow. We have the Montgomery County Community Foundation in the studio. That's going to be around 9:45, 10 o'clock. And they're going to be talking about the upcoming nonprofits who they're helping out.
Yeah, they chose several to assist. I came across this headline the other day and really looking forward to talking to them.
So that's going to be tomorrow. Chris, they can find you on Twitter.
Yep. At the CLAPPEL.
Okay. And also the Ticket Stub podcast every Thursday at noon o'clock here.
At the _ Ticket Stub.
So you and me and the Burris will be here. And then Sean, thanks for checking us out, being here.
My pleasure.
You'll be here tomorrow.
I guess I'll come back then.
And we're looking forward to that. Folks, thanks for tuning in. You're listening to Lone Star Community Radio. Great lineup today. irlonestar.com for more information. We are Montgomery County's community radio station. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. We'll see ya.